Good morning and welcome. Good afternoon and welcome. Good evening and welcome. This is the TR News and Reviews. I am yours truly, TR Nail Rex, representing for the TR Newscast and the TR News team. Welcome to the TR News and Reviews. It's a good day out. Well, not as beautiful as it should be, but if life is in our nostrils, it's a very good day out. That's just my personal belief. So I just want to say quickly, welcome to everybody. Thank you for coming. If you have any ways and means of sharing the stream, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate. So today we are talking about, of course, sex workers that complaining that the crisis has hit them so hard they have retired. So sex workers is complaining now that the pandemic has brought a strain on their livelihood and they're not so happy about that. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Western Union lines in Jamaica are now in S's. It bends around corners. People are at Western Union for us from as early as what you call it, from as early as 5 o'clock in the morning. The lines at the Western Union is already building up. All right, so that and more in the stories after the break. So right after this track, the playing of this track, we will come right back with what we have to say today. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for staying. We now bring you current happenings across the world, local. Excuse me. That sniffling is not going to work. Hold on. Okay, excuse me, and I beg your pardon for that. Sorry for that. We're going to dive right into what we have making the news today. So, of course, sex workers mulls retirement amid COVID-19 crisis. Since the COVID-19 pandemic shutdown of exotic clubs, massage parlors, and street corners around the country, many sex workers have been left without employment. Some of them have migrated to the online sex industry. Not everyone is tech savvy enough to change gears. Sorry, excuse me. Rose, a 36-year-old street prostitute, is facing a virtual famine, a long run of hungry days which lie ahead as the source of her income has all but vanished. She has had to resort to regularly raiding a breadfruit tree in her community to feed herself and her two kids. You hear that? She has to raid a breadfruit tree in Jamaica to get food to feed her two kids. Now, this is really sad. This is really sad. This is a mother of two children that is a sex worker, and she now has to raid a breadfruit tree in order to feed her two kids. This is absolutely sad. The positive note about it is that she's trying to feed her kids. That is the good part about it. It is nice that she's trying to, by some ways and some means, feed her kids. But this is really sad, and I'm going to tell you why it is sad after I finish what I am looking at. The preparedness for children. Now, there is always one thing about children that we know is that children, you cannot, as parents, tell children that, hey, um, things are not well today, so no food, no dinner, no lunch, no breakfast. You have to find it. No matter where it comes from, you have to find it. So I want to read that paragraph one more time and listen carefully. Rose, a 36-year-old street prostitute, is facing a virtual famine. A long run of hungry days which lie ahead as the source of her income has all but vanished. She has had to resort to regularly raiding a breadfruit tree in her community to feed herself and her two kids. Sad. I am here frustrated. I can barely manage right now. I can hardly get to run my pressure pills. So she have pressure too. Pressure pills. I am here stressed out, worrying. I can hardly find food. I have two kids. One of them is 8. What? 8 who? I have two kids. One of them is 18, but he is still with me. Most days I turn to the breadfruit tree to get something to eat. Rose, a mother of two, told the news team. Rose said her underlying hypertensive condition has made the odds of contracting the virus an unfavorable prospect. I am just here worried about this virus because I have high blood pressure also. And I am depressed. I can't do anything anymore. I usually work on the street, but things are very hard for me right now. I don't have I don't even have hold on. I don't even enjoy having sex. Selling sex is a matter of survival for me. Just to make sure my kids go to school and eat, she said. She is thinking about changing professions in the wake of COVID-19 crisis. Right now, I want to go back to a little class and do a course in housekeeping for some other skills. Right now, me I come from far. I drop out of school early. I got pregnant young, and me have to take care of my kids. Same way. I struggle a lot. That's why I end up this kind of work. I am fed up with it. I am just not interested anymore, she said. After 6 years in street prostitution side of the sex industry, Rose appears ready to hang up her silhouettes, or sorry, stilettos, and tight stockings. That word is a bit new to me, stilettos, but I think you girls know what that is. On her tight stockings. I have got scared since the virus thing because they say those with high blood pressure and other illness may stay home. I am not going anywhere, even though I have it hard. Me don't know what will happen when this thing over. Maybe me all change my life seriously. Me did want to try do some buy and sell things, try to get a good money and do some buy and sell and stop doing this. I really need to change my life anyhow, she said. Even before the advent of COVID-19, street prostitution in her town had been hit by the law of diminishing returns. Things have been sticky for a while now. The police are trying to get the girls off the road. them lock off the part where we would work. I got really afraid on the road. I don't love jump into people car and them things there. Before this virus thing come in the sitting. Nothing much never did even aguan, she said. Excuse me, I struggle a little bit to read Jamaican Creole. Excuse me. She said her income had dropped to the under 10,000 a week before the crisis. She said her income had dropped to little under 10,000 a week before the crisis even began. So her income has been more than 10K when things were going on. So she used to work $40,000 a week at minimum selling sex. All right. This is an opportunity to try something different, Rose said. However, other sex workers like 27-year-old go-go dancer Mitzi and waiting patiently for government to reopen bars, massage parlors, and places of entertainment. She all about that life. Sex sells. Yes, it sells. Sex sells. Absolutely, it sells. Customers will always come back. We can wear mask. What? We can wear mask and make the thing sexy. But then it comes right down to it. People are going to take risk. Jamaicans are an edgy, rough people with talawa. This can't keep we down. Right now, people miss the way we live used to be. No, sorry. People miss the way we lives. Now, when you put we before lives, I have to call it live. I wonder if nobody gets what I'm saying. I'm reading from an article here. And when I see we before the word live, as far as I'm concerned, that is we live. How the hell is that we lives? That's why I struggle to read. That's why I struggle to read this. But let me continue. People miss the way we lives will. Oh gosh. People miss the way we lives. People miss the way we lives used to be. Let me call it that. They miss having fun. This virus only reminds us that life is short. This might make people more spontaneous and want to live their lives in the moment. Life too short to not have fun. Mitzi must. Mitzi, who worked in the infamous back road in Portmore, said that a lot of her stripper friends have migrated into other hustles. A lot of dancers are making money online right now, like onlyorphans.com. Oh my goodness. Some of the porn thing are outrageous, but me no inna them things there. And me nah do no nude photos thing online cause me never really comfortable taking photos or working in front of a screen. Me no want me intimate parts out there forever. Cause anyone can make a copy of it. You can't control it. Plus my mother is 7th day. Me can't make she know what me really a do, Mitzi said. Mitzi is very adaptable as she has never had a 9-to-5 structure. So forced confinement to home and employment are not alien concepts to her. Me always self-employed and so me used to ups and downs in my income. When I got pregnant, there were weeks where I didn't make any money, but me is a girl who can manage. So in a way, me feel prepared for this. It's not a complete shock to me, but me know say right now, the sufferation I go turn up. When we all come out of quarantine, just the fittest I go survive. Like Buju Banton say, it is a competitive world, a low budget people, she said. The crisis wrought by the COVID-19 pandemic is the ultimate untold story. So say the voices of the most vulnerable and the marginalized in society, Selah. And of course, I want to say big shout out to Claude Mills, as he is the one who took this story. He's on the front line. Now, in other news, lines in Jamaica. Hold on, let me get this properly. Let me get this properly so I can get this thing going. I want to take the time out to say welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for coming. The blessing of the Almighty be on your shoulders, or may the good God watch over your shoulders and keep your souls. I want to say welcome to Jen the Goat. Thank you, Jen the Goat. Thank you for coming. Sandy K, Amy Conival, Derek C. Williams. Thank you for coming. Sandy K, SF Rose. Thank you for being here. I also see Angela M in the building. Thank you for being here, Angela M. I hope I didn't. Tiffany Channel is here as well. Good afternoon, Tiffany Channel. Thank you so much for coming. I hope I didn't miss it. Nikki, I saw Nikki was here as well. Thank you for coming, Nikki. And for those who can share the stream, share it, invite somebody. It's not a very long stream. This is a very short stream, as a matter of fact. I was saying, the crisis hit. The crisis hit, and this lady, her name is Rosie. Yes, her name is being made public. She's a mother of two, with her first son being 18 years of age. And she has to work. She thinks that she has to work as a prostitute to feed her child. Now, there is something that I cannot understand. The decision that we make in life is our decision. Sometimes I hate when people say They are forced by the system. They are forced by their peers. They are forced by whatever to do whatever. I understand that, yes, you can be forced by the system. You can be forced by your peers. You can be forced by your mother, father, sister, brother, siblings. You can be forced by anything that is influential in your life. You can feel compelled to do whatever. But I am saying, and I am never going to stop saying, that at the end of any given day, every man and every woman is responsible for the deeds done in his or her body. As long as it is not a rope around your neck and somebody and a gun to your head and somebody say, hey, bow down and worship me. Bow down and call me Jesus. Call me God. Give the praise to TR. As long as a gun is not on your... And as a matter of fact, even when there's a gun to your head, even when, in Jamaica they have a term, them say you can carry the horse, go at the well. Them say you can carry the horse, go at the pond. In English, you can take the horse to the pond, but you cannot force it to drink. So no matter what you do, when you take that horse to the pond, you can't make it drink. And the same thing goes for all of us as human beings. We can tell you what to do, but we can't force you to do it unless we induce you. Is it induce? Unless we inject you with drugs. Unless we do something to let you lose your consciousness and then force things down your throat. Until then, you are responsible for the deeds done in your body and your actions you're responsible for. Thank you for 9 likes. I see 9 people hitting that like button. Thank you for the like, and thank you for those who appeared in the chat to join the TR show. Please don't tell me you went capital letters on her. I am scared not messing with... Hold on. What did I miss? All right. That's not for me. So I leave it right there. Okay. So now, what I am saying, though, is that there is something that I've always wondered. I've always wondered this. I will tell you this. I have been working since I was 15. 15! And I have never been out of a job since I was 15. There are so many, and I'm saying, if your educational background or if your qualifications, when it comes on to your intellectual property, if you don't know much up here, you can... then again, that's the problem. People are not using their cranium. People are not using their brains to think, to what can I possibly do? Can I lift a barrel and get paid for it? Can I carve trees and woods and make a living for it? Can I do this and that to make a living for it? But all the time, it is always the easiest and the most money that people look at. People don't look at long distance survival. So if I make this or I try to build this, this could be a lovely income in the next 5 years. Oh no, that is too long. I'm going to die before then. What I'm saying, I have been working since I was 15 years old. And I was still going to school. I was still in high school. And I used to do things like, well, I was good. I was good in the art. So I used to make art pieces and sell it. I found a way so I can survive as young as 15 years old. Yes. And then I remember moving to live with my mom because she had left. When I was 20 years old and I was working, in 1 year I changed about 5 different jobs. I went to work as a painter. I went to work as a baker. I went to work as a security officer. I worked as a barber. No one taught me barbering. I developed the skill of being a barber, practicing on my brothers, on my siblings. Now, there are so many things around you that you can do or try to do. Now, when people complain that job is hard to find, I can't get a job because I can't do this because. What you mean you can't do because? I've never mentioned to myself that I can't do this because. There was two men who went out on an adventurous journey, or was it war that they went? And what happened? You How are you, girlfriend? Oh, okay, okay. Something happened. There was winter, and these people were locked into a, if I may call it, a desert area, a deserted area. There was no homes, families, there was nothing. They were there by themselves. Now this man was telling his story to a news team or to a media house. Now the man had no fingers, and everybody was wondering why this guy had no fingers. What happened to the guy? The guy met a crisis where there was no food, and he was at a place where he couldn't find food. Now, it was a cold place. It was snowing. I think it was close to the North Pole, if I remember the story well. Now, what happened is that the guy ate his fingers for survival, because his fingers was the only thing that was available for lunch or dinner. One finger for breakfast, one for lunch, one for dinner. And he had two fingers on one hand and one finger on the next hand. He ate his fingers for survival. Now, sometimes our circumstances and situations force us into situations where we do things that we would not do in our normal or day-to-day life. But I'm saying, when people complain that they can't find a job, it's not something that I really do understand. When people complain that they can't find a job, I don't understand that statement. People, some people get qualified and they wait for a job to fit in their qualification. And so while they wait, time is not waiting on you. That's what I know. While you're waiting for a job to fit your job description or to fit into your qualified world, time is saying tick, tock, tick, tock. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Time ain't waiting on you. Time is moving. I have a friend who lived in the district that I lived as a child. No, not as a child. In my earlier days as an adult. The guy went to the university, and the guy was qualified, so much so that when he was trying to get a job, they would not offer him a job because he was overqualified. What? There is such thing. He went to school, he got his education, he finished his master's degree in whatever. He left school with 19 subjects. He was qualified, and he was overqualified, that whenever he tried to get a job, they say, we cannot pay you. You are too qualified. Now, this is nonsense. It is true, but this is a serious story. After you work and work and work, build your intellect, you are now qualified, but now you're overqualified. And you can't get a job. And he sits at home because he can't get a job. That ain't happening to me. That ain't happening to me. Because life goes on. While they refuse you your job because of your qualification, the clock is ticking. the clock is ticking. If I were to be in that position, it is sad to say, I am going to try find a job or create a job, but if I should go in the work industry, what I would do is I would not take my papers. I'm going to get a job into an office and work below my qualifications. So I would just go in, tell them that I am this and that. I would make my own, I would get my recommendation, I would get my, what you call it, my resume, I would get my application filled out, and I would leave off some of my qualifications. I would start working lower than I'm ranked, if I may say that. Now, there is many jobs. If you take a job into the police force, the police is not going to say you're overqualified because your qualification has nothing to do with shooting and, being a corporal. Yes. Your qualification, yes, you can go up in the rank because it doesn't matter how qualified you are, they're going to start you at the lower level. You could be qualified for up here, but entering the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and I want to believe that any police force that you become a part of, you're going to have to climb in the rank. You're not just going to come in there and become lieutenant or captain, regardless of your qualification. No. After training, you have to learn the ropes and climb. You might climb faster than the person who is less qualified. That's what the deal is. If you join the army, it's going to be the same. If you join the army, it's going to be the same. You're going to have to start from a corporal or a private, so to speak. You're going to have to start from the lowest level and climb your ass up to the, climb your way up to the top. The only thing is, the climbing is going to be faster when you're more qualified. That's what it's going to be. But you're going to have to start from down here, learn the ropes, and go to the top. That's how it is. But I'm just saying, there is always a problem somewhere in the workforce that is trying to stop you from getting where you want to be. That's right, TikTok Derek C. Williams. The clock is ticking and talking while you're making an ass of yourself. So wake up and get popping. If it takes cleaning the floor to get to where you want to, clean the damn floor and get to where you want to. Oh yes, I am qualified because I have a master's in theology. I have a master's in theology, but I don't have a congregation to preach to or to share my theological intellect. So am I going to sit down and say, all right, there is no church that is ready to employ me so I can preach the gospel? Make your own church. How do you make your own church? Start something like what I'm doing right here. Go online, gather a few people, and build a church and start preaching to your own people. Don't wait to be employed by another church. I'm just saying, start somewhere. When you look on my resume today, when people look at my resume today, the question they normally ask me, where haven't you worked, sir? I work as a taxi operator while I was working in an office. So while I dressed up in the morning to go to work in my nice white shirt, I used to wear a white shirt. It had to be a white shirt. And while I dress up in my nice suit to go to work, I jump in my car and I say, Half-a-tree, half-a-tree, half-a-tree. This is me running taxi before work. After work, I am running taxi again. So I am not too boasty or too qualified or over dignified that I can't do something a little bit lower than what I am up here. So I was working as a taxi operator. I worked as a painter. I worked as a security guard before I go to the army. Before I went to the army, I was a security guard first. I remember working as a security guard. Peaceful Sistrin, thank you for coming. I remember working as a security guard in Jamaica. And I used to work at D&G. And I remember one night they put me to work in a they put me to work in a building. And what I was watching in the building until today, I don't know what I was securing. Because at the time when I was working, I had no gun. At that time, I was just starting up in the security system and I had no guns at the time because I was a newbie. And I was watching a department with nothing, only by radio. I was watching a department with only my from recruit to admiral, sir. That's right. From recruit to admiral. That's right. From new recruit to admiral. That's the rank you're going to climb up there in the army. What I'm saying though is that I was placed into a building. I was placed into a building to secure the building with a radio. And I was saying to myself, no, this is serious. The armed guard and the armed security guard, they were at the gates working while I am guarding the inside of a building. Just me and the assets. In the night, and I'm on the night shift. So what do? Sit up on a chair. Hey fly, don't pitch on that chair. Hey dust, don't fall on that table. Oh my God. You know what I did? I pulled the tablecloth off the table. I took my shirt off in my and hang it up on a chair back. And I make a bed on the floor and I lay down and put the radio beside my ears. Because they would call every hour to make sure that you're not sleeping. Bravo Tango, confirm your copy. Confirm, Bravo Tango. Bravo Tango, confirm your copy. Bravo Tango. Third call, Bravo Tango, confirm your copy. Is everything okay on location? T-Haw is sleeping. Leave me alone. No, I would normally hear it and answer because the radio would normally be right at my ears. But I am just saying you have to work your brain. There is no camera to suggest what I am doing when I'm locked up in a building. I am not cheating. Yes, it is kind of like cheating, but it's not cheating. You're alone into a building, watching an empty building with your radio. So what's going to happen when somebody break in? Hey, hold on. Hey, I have a radio. Hey, copy that. I went to bed and I sleep, and that was me working, sleeping while I am working. So I was sleeping at work. So I just go to my workplace to sleep at nights and I get paid. So if you can find a way, if you can find a way to to work the system, work the system. How the hell do you say you don't have a job because you can't find a job? Make a job. Make a job. Now, she said she's a prostitute, and she got pregnant early in school, and she dropped out, and she can't find a job because she's now raising 2 children, and the only job available for her is prostitution because it takes care of her and her kids. And now that COVID-19 hits her ass, she has nothing to do. She has no job because all the bars are closed, all the restaurants and all the fancy places are closed. Everybody has to stay indoors. The police is taking the people off the road. So she can't earn a dollar. So now she's hungry. She's crying for hunger now because guess what? It seemed like while she was prostituting and selling herself, she had not saved any money either. So now COVID-19 come and she is still broke. So that means all that she worked all these years, all these jobs, all these men that partake in her body, she has nothing to show for it. Only 2 kids. It is a sad story. It is a sad situation. Now, there is another thing that is happening in Jamaica right now where the Western Union lines are long and I spoke of that. I spoke about that earlier, but I did not finish the statement. In Jamaica, in the United States, we have the stimulus check. In Jamaica, and the stimulus check in the United States is $1,200. $1,200. In Jamaica, that is equivalent to 100,000. Hold on. It's 1,000. No, it's not 1,000. Is it 1,200? Or is it 1,200? Same thing. So, yes, Jen the Goat, this is a real story. This is not a make-up story.
It's 175,300 Jamaican dollars.
Now, it is 175,000 Jamaican dollars plus some change on it. In Jamaica, the COVID fund is 10,000 Jamaican dollars. Some people are wondering what they're going to do with $10,000, while some people can't wait to get their $10,000. Now, $10,000, oh my God, this is crazy. But to give the entire nation $10,000 is a lot of money. Now, look what happened. Western Union is where these monies are being paid out. The lines at Western Union, Peaceful Sistrin, are you the sex worker? Oh my goodness. Peaceful Sistrin, go sit your rump in the corner. I'm talking about you. If I was to talk about Peaceful Sistrin, that's not what I would be talking about. I would be saying Peaceful Sistrin has a drive to go get it. That's what I would be saying. Peaceful Sistrin has a drive to go get it. That's what I'm saying, Angela M. Not even $100 in Jamaica. And the Western Union line is long and taking corners and taking turns because people are present at Western Union from 5 o'clock in the morning. And some people don't, what you call it? Some people had not filled their forms out, but they are in the line. Now, what I'm wondering is that how does, in this COVID-19, how does people operate in a line? Because I know how Jamaicans are. I know how Jamaicans are. I'm going to tell you a funny story about Jamaicans. Before, they have a bus in Jamaica called the JUTC bus. Before there was ever a JUTC bus, there were some buses that they called Tata and Encarva. Now, these buses used to run from Kingston to Clarendon, Kingston to Spanish Town, Kingston to Portland, Kingston to everywhere. Kingston, half a tree to downtown, half a tree to Crossroad, half a tree to Constant Spring, half a tree to Golden Spring, half a tree to Stony Hill. Carver and Tata buses used to have these. I don't remember who was the owner of these buses, but they used to populate they were popular. The population of these buses used to be it. That's what we know. Now, people used to force through windows to go into these buses used to be so packed. People used to be hanging from the door. People used to go through the windows. Everybody used to be like this on a bus. And the pickpockets would make you go up and come down. They would pick your pocket. When you reach home, you don't have any money. All kinds of things used to happen on it. Anyway, the JUTC bus came and the JUTC bus took over. And what happened when the JUTC bus took over? Guess what happened? It was now structured. Lay on her back for so long and have nothing to show for it. That's what I'm saying, peaceful sister. It is just, to me, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think. I don't even want to think about it. It's just, ugh. Anyway, anyway, anyway. What I'm saying is that when the JUTC bus came about, there was more structure because the JUTC operation was a government owned operation, so it was more structured. Drivers had uniforms. There was no conductor. The driver was the conductor. Machine, receipt. It was more a professional business. It was not a pastime. It was not just a hustle. It was more professional. So now you had to join a line to go into the bus. Now, I'm going to tell you what is funny. Jamaicans hate lines. They hate to be standing in a line and orderly march into anything. So Jamaica is jumbling up, trying to have the first spot or to go in first. That was the case. Now I'm going to tell you something. It was a bus going to Spanish Town. There was a bus going to Spanish Town. And believe it or not, the bus capacity is 41 people seated. There were 3 people waiting on the bus outside. And they were fighting to go in the bus. Who first gets into the bus? The mentality is sick. How do 3 people fight to go into an empty bus that holds 41 people seated? Were you trying to take the driver's seat? Are you trying to be, what are you fighting for? Those are the crazy things, those are some of the crazy things that I would see in Jamaica. I mean, stand up as a force. Or if you come in front of me, I mean it there at the front of the line, sir. Why the backside you come stand up in front of me? I be there a long time, I wait on the bus, and I me first are going. Brethren, it's only 3 hours out here, you know. You don't have to fight. You're going to get a seat. What are you fighting for? Now, these are some of the craziest things that happen. But I'm saying, in this COVID-19, when social distance is being practiced, how do you stand up in a Western Union line to collect the government so-called free money? It is not free money, but let's call it free money. The COVID-19 fund is now collected via Western Union. And people are at Western Union from as early as 5 o'clock in the morning to get $10,000. $10,000. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can get my brother on this. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can get, hopefully I can get him. I want to get a Jamaican on here to explain this thing some more. Hey, brother man, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? All right, you're on speakerphone, and of course you're on my show. How things? Can you hear me?
Hold on.
You can talk for a minute.
Yeah?
You can talk for a minute.
Yeah, man.
So you're on public speaker.
Yes.
All right, so we're talking about the $10,000 that them giving out in Jamaica. Is it 10,000? Am I correct?
Yeah, 10,000.
10,000. And tell me something. You said something about a line being at Western Union from as early as 5 o'clock, right?
The phone is breaking up, bro.
Oh, the phone breaking up.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we call you back then, cause probably we don't know what the problem is. So we call you back. All right. There's a phone issue right there. So I wanted him to tell you for yourself so you can hear. So people are in line at Western Union. Peaceful Sistering, that's not the other one. That's the Jamaican one. Or rather, that's the one living in Jamaica. So I have four siblings. I have I have my elder brother, then the one, then the other one, and then the little one. So that's what it is. So there is my bigger brother, then the one, then the other one, and then the little one. So there is four of us. But anyway, this story, this story is quite all ones. Yes, all ones. We have the big one, then the one, then the other one, and then the smaller one. All ones. Yes, all ones right there. I have seen Derek is the oldest of seven. Oh, I mean, I have seven. Derek is the oldest of seven. Oh, wow. So you have six younger siblings. How young is the last one? Derek, is your parents still alive? Is your mother and father still alive? Derek is more like a patriot. You know, Derek is more like a fighter for, what should I call it? I want a suitable word to say. Why y'all scaring Jen? What is happening here? Oh, all right. Guys, we are 54 minutes in. I'm about to end the live stream in the next 6 minutes. I'm about to end this stream. Triplets, they are 28. Hold on. Triplets, they are 28. Oh my God. Triplets, I would have liked to be in a triplet. I'd like to be a part of a triplet, you know. It would be so nice to have two other people born the same day as you, or the same weekend, or the same midweek, or the same beginning of the week, you know, Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever the case might be. Just kidding. I've lost the conversation. Oh. All right, so a recap. Let me just recap the story and tell you the part that was very interesting because some people came late and was asking me if the story is true. So let me just recap since I'm going to go out shortly. Let me just recap the story and tell you the part that was very interesting. All right, so there was a part that I found very interesting, and I want to read that part to you again. Rosie, a 36-year-old street prostitute, is facing a virtual famine as long run of hungry days which lies ahead, as the source of her income has not vanished. No, sorry, has all but vanished. She has had to resort to regularly raiding a breadfruit tree in her community to feed herself and her two kids. That is the sad part of the story. She has to raid a breadfruit tree in her community to feed her two kids. Very sad, very, very sad, very sad, very, very sad. There was another part of the story that I found fascinating. I am here frustrated. I can barely manage right now. I can hardly get to buy my pressure pills. So she has pressure too. I can barely get to buy my pressure pills. I am here depressed, out and worrying. I can hardly find food. I have two kids. One of them is 18. And it's a he. But he's still with me most days. I turn to the breadfruit tree to get something to eat. Rose, a mother of two, told the news team. What? Now listen to this. Listen to this part. Rose said her underlying hypertensive condition has made the odds of contracting the virus an unfavorable prospect. I am just here worried about the virus because I have high blood pressure also. I am depressed. I can't do anything anymore. I usually work on the streets, but things is very hard now for me right now. I don't even enjoy having sex. I don't even enjoy having sex. Selling sex is a matter of survival for me, just to make sure my kids go to school and eat, she said. So she's just ensuring that her kids go to school and eat. And her only method of making some money is prostitution. Now, I'm going to leave the story right there. I'm not going to say anything else about it because somebody say when you're not in somebody else's shoes, you don't know the pain. When you're not in somebody else's shoes, you don't know their pain. You don't know what they go through. So let me leave them alone. I'm not going to criticize them. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. I'm not going to say they could have done better. I'm just going to leave it right there. I'm just going to leave it right there. They go through their things. She knows how it feels to have a child crying for hunger. The one thing that I can say, I've raised my kids and I have worked hard for each and every one of them. I've never stole or broke the law. Well, I broke the law once. I broke the law once. And you want to hear how I broke the law, you would say, I am a man with integrity. The way I broke the law was not intensive. And I'm going to tell you how I broke the law so that I can feed my kids. So one morning when I left my home, there was 2 bottles of water in my fridge. 2 bottles of water in my fridge. Nothing else. No rice, no flour, no cornmeal, no yam, no potato, no vegetables, nothing. My fridge was empty. My cupboard was empty. And I was leaving for work the morning. Remember I said I was working in an office. All dressed up, looking boasty, going to work, hungry. You never know what someone feels. Sometimes life is so hard for some people, you never know what they go through. Sometimes people put the best outside like myself. And some people are walking sepulcher. You know, inside is just bones and stench. But they're walking and outside look good. I call it an open sepulcher. Because a grave sometimes is painted and there is roses and there is flowers and blah, blah, blah on the grave. But on the inside is worms and stench and bones and all kinds of undesirable things in there. But outside looks good. That is some people today. Walking all handsome and nice, walking all beautiful and wonderful, you know, having the best outside, but inside is damaged and rotten. Now, I was going to work all dressed up, all a sexy man working in an office, looking all good, nice, clean, white shirt, shoulders straight up, walking in, in my big job, and my house is empty. So on the way to work, I was living in Spanish Town at the time. I worked in Half a Tree. So since I'm leaving Spanish Town, it was from Spanish Town to Half a Tree is like point A to point B. It was a full route. So I'm saying to myself, if I'm going to Half a Tree, I have no lunch money, and my kids at their last meal, I have to find something to give to my kids. So what I did, when I reached Greendale in Spanish Town, I stopped and I say, Half a Tree. I was driving, yes, I had a car. I picked up a load from Spanish. We all have your stories. Our stories, yes, I know, Angela. I picked up a load from Spanish Town to Halfway Tree. When I reached on Mullines Road, close to Halfway Tree, a car beside me pulled me over. It was transport authority. They pulled me, pull over, pull over. They pulled me over. It was transport authority and police. They pulled me over. They took the passengers out my car, and they also took my car and put it on the wrecker. You see this? I don't see them something I know. My house is empty. My kids are hungry. And I am trying to make a lunch money so I can survive another day. The police took my car. So now I have no car, no lunch money, the kids are hungry, and my house is empty. And I'm going to have to go home to a crying bunch of kids. I didn't cry. I didn't lose my mind. I didn't stress out. I just say, God take the case and give me the pillar. As a matter of fact, God take the case, the pillar, the house, the yard, the land. God take everything. Me no want nothing. I don't want anything. God take everything. And, you know, I had to just pray. But when I was praying, I couldn't pray either. Because I was saying, I went against the laws of the country to run illegal taxi operation to feed my kids. And so I can't even pray to God because it was my dirt that I did. I said, I just have to find a way to get out of this. So I said, it is sad. I said, God, you know, it was not a case where I want to violate the laws, the traffic laws, but I was just hungry. But anyway, I lost my car and I lost everything and my house was empty. And I went to work without breakfast. And I stayed at work without lunch. And I stayed at work and go home to no dinner. And to some kids who I can't tell that daddy has no money today. I didn't have bus fare to go home. I had to beg drive from Half a Tree to Spanish Town and then walk when I got to Spanish Town to my house. I have been through hell and powder house, my grandmother would say. Hell and powder house. I don't even know what a powder house is, but hell and powder house. I've been through hell to feed my kids and to feed my family. I've been through my struggles. And life is still not very easy for me, I must tell you. Life is still not easy for me, but I am always a trying man. I don't let life get to me. I get to life and I keep pushing. I never stop to say life is over. It's a struggle. I am not going to make it. I am suffering. I don't say those things. I say I am going to make it. I am not suffering. I am a happy man just going on happy. So even when I struggle, no one knows that I'm struggling. When some people come on my platform and tell their struggles, a lot of people don't know that TR has his own struggles as well. But I am a strong man, and I am going to make it regardless of my struggles. I'm going to make it to a place that is admirable. You know, enough people want to be like TR. Enough people want to be in the position of TR. Enough people think that TR has it all. It might not be what you think. But I don't come around complaining and, you know, grumbling and miserable and frustrated and depressed and all. I work with what I have and I work for what I have and I work for more and more and I keep going. I'm never giving up. With that being said, we have arrived at the end of today's stream. Thank you all for coming. God bless you. I see we got down to 7 people, so we're just going to end the stream. We're not going to prolong the stream much longer. So I just want to take the time to say, thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Sandy K. Thank you, Amy Conival. Thank you, Jen the Goat. Thank you, Tiffany Channel, Amy Conival, and your sheep, of course. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who came out today to support the TR show and the movement. Thank you so very much. God bless you all. Walk safe. Oh, by the way, guys, tonight's story on the TR show at 9 p.m. is a very interesting one. You can't afford to miss that one. So I'm going to give you a hint of what the story is going to be. Invite your friends over. You don't want to miss tonight's show on the TR show. So this lady, her boyfriend, she's a teacher. Her boyfriend, was very abusive. And the boyfriend went to her school and beat her in front of her kids. Oh, Lord of mercy. And threatened to kill her. She will be on the TR show to tell her story tonight. You don't want to miss it. She's not even just the teacher. Can you imagine how it feels? She is actually the principal of the school. She is the principal of the school, and her boyfriend came to the school and beat her to sickness in front of the kids. Can you imagine? You are the principal. I will have to show. Hold on. I will have the show open, but won't able to chat much. I'll be hold on. Oh, oh my goodness! I'm so sorry, Tiffany. Tiffany, how long do you normally go live for? Is it you go live for like 2 hours or?
2 to 3 hours.
All right. You go live at least 2 to 3 hours. So I will see what I can do. I will see what I can do. Because I see that you're very supportive, Tiffany. I see you're very supportive. I'm watching you, Tiffany. I'm watching you. I've been watching you. You're very supportive. And I'm going to make sure that I show up, and, give you some, for 2 hours at least. Okay, all right. My show is going to be for probably an hour and a half or less, but it's going to be less than 2 hours for sure. So I'm going to see what I can do. In the meantime, I want to say thank you very much for coming over. But that story is heartrending, and you need to hear it. So at least it will be there on my channel. You can always rewatch it. But you know when you're like in a higher position at school, you know how embarrassing that must have been. You are the principal. You have 2 teachers at the school working, and they look up to you. You are the principal who gives the orders. And a boyfriend who is younger than you come to your school and hit you in the face. Bam! Bam! And I want to tell you guys, it is even worse. When you wear glasses, and I'm not talking about a dark glasses, a prescription glasses, and you've been hit in the face with your prescription glasses on. Do you know the feel of that in front of your students? It's horrible. And then, look on the funny thing. You're now wearing dark glasses that is not prescription glasses. You can't wear your prescription because you're hiding your face and then you can't see. Life become a turmoil. Life become uncomfortable. Life become miserable. Anyway, God bless you all. See you all at 9 p.m. The story time. You can't afford to miss it. See you all. God bless you until we meet. Thank you so much for coming. God bless you until we meet.